welcome back. Basically, we got all the manure all down here, and this was the wheat field we were baling straw on not too long ago, and we got the manure haul down there, and now we'll run the Amazon disc over it, and we'll get a seed bed ready, and then we'll be ready to seed some alfalfa. This 40 acres is going to alfalfa, and then we can take the other 40 out of the rotation. That had a lot of wet holes, and we filled them in with grass, which is okay, but I'd like to get a little more consistency. So we'll get the field worked up and ready for seeding. Here's what we'll use to incorporate the manure and prep our seed bed. It's Amazon Catros, that's what I'm gonna call it. It's like 4 meters wide, so what is that, like 13 feet. Not very wide, a little wider than the width of the tractor, but you can cruise along with them pretty good. They're called like a high-speed disc, so 10 mile an hour gets it moving pretty good. Got 2 rows of discs, and one row will throw them this way and the other row will throw them that way, and then that roll pretty much consolidates the whole width, kind of pushes it back down, firms up the seed bed, and then that roll also adjusts the depth. I don't know if you can see there's a cylinder. If you push that cylinder out, that roll will go down or this will come out. The only problem with this right now is the discs are pretty worn. We should probably get some new ones. Wouldn't even be that bad of a job to replace them since they're all individual discs, but they're getting too small, and if you run it too deep in loose soil, it'll start dragging. So pretty good sign of the discs being worn out. And then the reason it's not so bad to replace them discs is they're all independent, so they're not on a gang or nothing. You can see here pretty much all the spring tension on those is those rubber noodles underneath of them clamps. That's the only thing that lets it move, but they all move independently. So yeah, thanks to Kyle, he got this all hooked up for us, so all I gotta do is hop up in there and just do the driving part. Wouldn't be able to hook it up so with my bum leg, but I can hop in there, and then once we're in there, really don't need your legs anyway to drive these things. They're any tractor past newer than 2000 roughly, they all have powered shift transmissions, that or IVTs or CVTs or whatever you want to call it, and you really don't need your feet to drive those. Pretty much the left pedal, it's not even called a clutch anymore, they call it an inching pedal. So you can pretty much do everything without your feet other than the brake, but that's what the left foot is for, and downshifting, so that works pretty good. So we'll get in there and get started. And we're in. Judging by the way the corn looks, we better be getting the chopper ready this week too. I imagine first week of September, so we got another 2-3 weeks, and then we'll probably be chopping corn. We better get this alfalfa seeded first though. Generally first 2 weeks of August is a good time to get it in. That gives it enough time to get established before winter, and it can load up on nutrients and makes it more winter hardy. You can also seed it in the spring, like a lot of people will frost seed it early, like March. I guess I've never tried it, but generally our soil doesn't lend itself to be driven over come March. Even I guess if we had a frost, we could make it work. That's the point of frost seeding, but I'm not taking a chance. We've had pretty good luck doing it in the late summer. Plus, we got the time now, so we'll just do it right now. But there's like a gazillion companies that make one anymore. European companies have had some for a while. You had Pottinger, it's got one, and there's the Hirsch Joker one. Amazon got one, but anymore I think every big manufacturer has one. I know Versatile's got a high-speed disc. Case got one. John Deere got one. I seen it on the Millennial Farmers YouTube channel, about a year ago. All those ones are a lot wider though. They're like 40 feet or something. We don't farm that awful lot, and we probably do. I only have to do like 40 acres right now, so we probably get 10 acres an hour out of this. So it's not very wide, but I mean we're cruising along, and the more you cruise, the faster you go, the better it works. I was trying to drive a little slower, but the machine ends up bouncing because we're not running it deep enough, and that's terrible if you're putting in a hay field, because you want that pretty smooth or you'll be bouncing across that for the next 4 years or so. Finished working the dirt, and then we had some rain overnight, so kind of put the alfalfa seeding on a hold, but we did get it hooked, the seeder hooked up to the tractor, and it still had seed in it from last year, which is unacceptable but not surprising. Had some grass seed left in there. Yeah, we'll be all we gotta do now is throw some alfalfa seed in there, and Got across there. We didn't get a lot of rain, so I don't imagine it taking too long. So. All right, Kyle got her all blown off, and now we'll put the hay head away and see if we can dig out the corn head. See? I told you they'd still be there. Okay. One other thing we got going on, the starter roll, or I guess the plate, bottom plate underneath the starter roll, was hanging on by a thread, so that's the old one. And we got a new one over there, and that's got to go in the bottom there. Pretty much to make sure nothing falls out. We ran it with it on there halfway for a little while, and it just drops a little bit of stuff out of the bottom, so better get that corrected. And then we did get the head hooked up to the forage harvester or the chopper, but we need the processor needs put in there yet, and then we got to put all new knives on and take a couple things off feed rolls and put a couple new strips on there so it grabs it good. We'll have the dealer come out and do that. I'm in no shape to be doing that. So last night about 9 o'clock the power went out. So then we had to unhook the seeder and hook up the generator. Pretty much we run the PTO generator, which At the time I priced a standby generator, but they were pretty pricey compared to this thing. But oh, as often as our power goes out anymore, it probably would have been well worth it too. So if we want to do like 18 pounds of the acre, it says we got to set it to 10, but from previous experience, that's way too wide open. So pretty much have to close it up pretty far. So we'll put the seed in there, and then these little finger thingies will spin, and as they spin, we'll take the seed around, and it will come around and drop it through here, which will drop it in between the rolls, and then the rolls will pack it down. So it pretty much throws it on the top, which we want to only go like a 1/4 inch deep probably. So we'll get her filled up, or when I say we, Kyle will get her filled up. Pretty much all that happens here is that one bottom roll is the driven, and then that ends up driving this shaft in here. Nice thing about this seeder is it rolls it right away, and that kind of increases our odds of a good stand. If you pack the dirt down, it doesn't dry out as fast if it does rain. Worst case scenario here, we got like like a 1/4 inch to 2/10 of rain, which will be just enough to make the seed sprout, but then there won't be any moisture to keep going, so then it will die off. If you run a packer over top and you pack that dirt down a little bit, if it does rain, it doesn't dry out as quick. This machine ain't very wide, but we can cruise along pretty good, and then it saves us a pass for the roller. So we've had pretty good luck with this thing. Good. Looks like nothing ran out before we got done. So yeah, that about sums that up. Got one more thing to do though. See, one other thing, nice thing about the rolls is any rocks that came up, it will shove them back into the dirt so they don't end up tearing up any hay equipment. But the most foolproof way of making sure it doesn't tear anything up is picking them up. So that's how we'll finish today. So I know of these two and then a couple along the tree line over there. So I'll snatch those up, but that'll be the end of the video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.